You definitely shouldn't go into college thinking that your roommate's gonna like do you dirty or like that's gonna like take from you when you're not there, but like sometimes it happens. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about college as per usual, but it's a little different, you see it. So today we're gonna be talking about rooming in college, and not just rooming, might I say, the whole sort of housing experience, sort of. I'm trying to be like super elusive and mysterious, but it's not really working. And you could probably just like read what the title is anyway and just figure out what's good with the video. But anyways, let's just ignore that, I'm sorry. But in particular, I'm going to be telling you how to survive in basically any college dorm. And I know it's a really big task because college dorms are like really different and like there's a lot of different components that goes into like the culture and environment for each dormitory. Is that what dorm is short for? This is why I don't have a degree yet. I also feel like I'm like super qualified to be talking about this because I'm going to be an RA next year, right? Crazy. But I actually haven't been trained yet and I don't really know how to do any of that yet. Let's just forget about that. I've lived in a dorm for a year, so let's just assume that I know what I'm talking about. Let's get into the video. So I feel like in order to survive in like your residence hall, you just need to abide by a couple of things to make sure your time there is as seamless and as comfortable as it can be. Because as I said before, I know that dorm halls can range from a variety of different levels of quality and just cleanliness and just, I'm just gonna say it, some of them can be really freaking gross. And that's like no shade to like, well actually, is it? Like specifically when I'm talking about like different dorms, like especially with like big universities, I feel like they have the money to really make a good dorm hall. But like they just don't because of just like different time restraints. I feel like there's a valuable character developing moment by living in like a shoddy dorm hall for a year because you learn how to just really live on the edge, you know? When there's mold all over the bathroom, there's really thin walls, you can hear everything. There may or may not be rodents in the building. There's just something you get from that you don't get anywhere else. And of course, I'm speaking from experience. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And I know just saying that, if you've never been to college before, that may sound a little scary, a little daunting, like why would I want to do that if I'm paying all that money? But you need to understand, like that's just part of the character. The first thing I'd say that is really essential to helping you survive in a dorm hall is getting to know the faculty that work there. That means RAs are basically resident advisors. I know a lot of these positions have different names depending on the university or campus that you're on, but like RAs, which are basically like the student advisors, like they watch over other students on the floor. They're generally upperclassmen. The RDs, who are the step above that, which are generally like grad students. RD is short for like resident director, by the way. And then ACs, which is like area coordinator, which are like the super fancy, amazing people that oversee all of that. So get to know them because they probably know more about the building than you. So they can tell you a little bit about the history. It's like the culture of the building, what works, what doesn't work. So they're all great resources to use just to help you be more informed. And they're also the people that you can go to whenever things go wrong, whether that be about the building itself or the people in it. So getting to know them only makes your experience a little bit easier because you know that you have someone to count on or someone to help you out if things go very, very south. Additionally, you want to get to know the different facilities workers, so the people that are actually coming in and like fixing different things. At GW, where I go, our people are called Fix It, and like they come and they fix stuff, as the name implies. Just knowing what they do and knowing how to contact them in case like your refrigerator breaks or like your ceiling falls down. Like that doesn't happen almost ever, I hope, but like if it does, you know who to call. So yeah, just knowing people who can help you out is never a bad thing and can definitely help you out in a pinch. The second tip that can help you a lot in your residential adventures are mastering the art of minding your own business. Now, I say this in the most sincerest way possible, but a lot of the time if you're living in a residential space with a lot of different people, you're going to see a lot of different things. Those things may be positive, negative, weird, creepy, but for the most part you need to realize that you're only in control of yourself. So if you're just trekking away, staying in your own lane, minding your own business, then a lot of that weird, crazy, creepy stuff may not happen to you, or it may just like be in the background. And you want to keep it in the background because you don't want it to come back to you, especially when it comes to drama, because if you look for drama, you will find drama in college. Trust me on that. So how does one master the art of minding your own business? I'll give you some examples. You're walking around in your dorm hall and you see people arguing in the hallway. Mind your own business. You see a couple hooking up in the laundry room, find another laundry room and just mind your own business. You see someone Naruto running around the hallway, that one you could take out your phone and record it, but afterwards, mind your own business. You see the theme here? Whatever's coming at you, you just gotta turn your head or mind your own business. And that's not to say you shouldn't be a good Samaritan and not like report some of the things you see if they're like dangerous or like kind of weird to like an RA or something, but I'm just saying you don't need to involve yourself in that because that's a lot of energy, and you probably have a lot of other things going on in your life that don't involve all of whatever that was. So you just gotta keep it moving. Next thing that you should know is that you should figure out what are peak times for different utilities in your building, like the laundry, or like if you have communal bathrooms, the showers, or the toilet. Because there definitely are certain times where everyone is doing laundry or everyone's showering. So if you want to avoid the huge line of people just all waiting to do the same thing, try and find times when people aren't necessarily in their dorm. I found last year that the best times to do laundry are directly in the middle of the day. So if you have like a break in between classes in the middle of the day, do laundry then, because people are in classes or just like hanging out. And then also late at night on the weekends. So if you're not going out partying or sleeping, do your laundry because everyone else is doing those things. So the laundry room and shower room will be very, very empty. Although I'd say for showers, be careful because a lot of people have their little accident moments in the showers over weekends. So just watch your feet. Next thing sort of transitions into the sort of roommate section of things, because unless you're in a single, you can't really talk about housing without talking about roommates. So I definitely say that if you want to have a good time and a decent relationship with your roommate, that you make a roommate agreement early. I know a lot of schools require you to make a roommate agreement with your roommates, but if they don't, I'd say that you should definitely make one because they are lifesavers. And I know what that may sound like.
Like a roommate agreement? That sounds kind of formal. I don't know if I need that. Me and my roommate or roommates are pretty close. We got that group chat going on. We said we never betray each other. We're down for each other. That's my ride or die.
But they're gonna piss you off at one time or another. They're gonna do something that really irks you, or they're gonna like push a boundary that they really shouldn't have pushed at some point. So setting up a roommate agreement in the beginning sort of alleviates some of that pressure and anger and frustration. And a roommate agreement doesn't need to be something that like traps you or your roommate into anything. It's just like guidelines as to what is like acceptable and what is not. Sort of like setting those boundaries. So if you don't like guests in your room after a certain time because you like to study or sleep, then say that. If something like that does happen, you have like physical evidence and like something physical to show like we have agreed that that's not okay. So what are you doing? And also make sure that everything that you're putting in that agreement is very clear, so there isn't like much discrepancy or a lot of leeway that people can go in. Like, I know everyone's trying to find a loophole when it's convenient to them. Like, I did that, I'm not gonna lie. Making the agreements clear, but also not super demanding or like limiting, because you are going to change as a person of your college career. In some things that you thought that you wouldn't do or be interested in, you may change your mind and actually end up wanting to do some of those things, which may or may not be in conflict of your roommate agreement because you thought you'd be a different person when you went into college, but then college happened and you're like, whoa. So yeah, being clear and concise, but also like realistic and reasonable, if that makes sense. One last thing on roommates that's gonna make your life so much easier. It's like a little shady, but like whatever. Make yourself a little stash of things that are like essential to you. That means like toilet paper, snacks, different facial products, basically anything that could be shareable that you don't necessarily want to share, but people will take advantage of and want you to share anyway. You definitely shouldn't go into college thinking that your roommate's gonna like do you dirty, or like that's gonna like take from you when you're not there, but like sometimes it happens. Sometimes you're feeling a little hungry and there's nothing in the room except for those Cheez-Its that your roommate has. And I mean, you gotta eat. So if you don't want that happening to you, then create a stash of things that are really important to you and that you'd like to use at your own pace and not have like stolen or like taken or eaten from you. Just like hide them away in like a suitcase or a drawer or something where it's like not easily accessible. I felt like that just needed to be said. I'm sorry. The next tip to surviving your dorm is sort of like a psychological thing, and that is to sort of change the way you think about your dorm. Of course, there are good dorms and bad dorms. If you're in like a really good dorm, this doesn't really apply to you because you already have like a superiority complex that you're living in the best dorm and you're like thriving in your environment. But for those of you who are like me and got one of the worst dorms on campus, you sort of need to like reevaluate how you think about things, because hard times is really easy to tack that onto things that are sort of like counted against you. I know how first world that sounds, but like it's real for some people. For me, my first year I lived in Thurston Hall, which is known to be like the worst dorm at UW. And just hearing that every time you tell someone where you live, like, oh yeah, I live in Thurston, they're like,
wow, you live in Thurston? How is it? Is it as crazy and dirty as people say it is?
Like, no, it's okay. Dirty. What do you mean dirty? It's not dirty, you dirty. So if you yourself don't constantly think of your dorm as like a really bad dorm, or just think of it as a dorm, or like a decent dorm, or like a good dorm, then that can really change your attitude and perspective on where you're living and can make your experience a lot better. So for those of you living in some crusty dorms, just reevaluate yourself. And sort of going along with that, a lot of times in order to survive in your dorm, you also need to get out of your dorm. I know it sounds like a little counterintuitive, but like it makes sense. Like sometimes no matter how much positive talk you do, there's always gonna be something or someone that really just like irks you in the dorm, where you just physically can't be in there for like a certain period of time and need to like get outside of your dorm. And this is where making friends outside of your dorm is key. So like if something like that does happen and you need to get out your dorm, you can always go to your friend's dorm and hang out with them, so you can get a change in scenery, a new perspective, and all of that good stuff. And a lot of the time, spending time at another friend's dorm will make you appreciate your dorm even more, because the culture and layout of every building is different and is a new experience. You may find some things that your building actually does better than your friend's building and be like, ha. My last tip is kind of separate from every other point, but that is bring some sort of bug killing instrument, substance, device. Just bring something to kill bugs. I'm just inserting this in here for anyone who doesn't like bugs, because me and bugs do not get along. And last year there weren't many incidents where bugs were a problem, except for this one time where a spider must have like laid eggs in our bathroom, and like there were a bunch of baby spiders everywhere. But you know, ugh, I got chills just remembering it. But in that case, we called Fix It, and they came and like sprayed and like killed everything. But I doubt something that extreme would happen in your room. But in the event that it does, and you don't have like a Fix It person or like a roommate that just isn't afraid of bugs, bring some bug spray, some bug traps, just to keep yourself safe, so you don't have to really worry about that if that's something that applies to you. I think with all of that, you should be good to just go, move in, and start killing it at your dorm. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to join the roommates. As of recording this, we just hit 14,000 subscribers. So join the Imurgency hype train while you can. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like and comment down below if this was helpful or not. Turn on my post notifications so you never miss an upload or a community tab post. Follow me on my socials floating around down here to get behind the scenes info and to also participate in future videos. And be sure to share this video with a friend or a roommate so you guys can be on the same page, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, guys, thanks again so much for watching. I've been Imurgency, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.